I'm at RAK Brewing. We're on Sagner Avenue, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes. RAK, Random Acts of Kindness. I'm with Joe and Troyce Gatewood. Are you from this area?
DC,
DC,
Washington.
okay. What made you choose Frederick County?
So I came out because a client requested a home showing in Frederick.
Okay.
And so I was like, Frederick? And so our only experience with coming to Frederick before was when I was a little girl. We went to Peter Pan when I was a little girl for Easter. And then when we got engaged, Mr. Firestone threw us our engagement party at his home. And so that was our only experience coming to Frederick.
Yeah.
And so it was just one of those things. It was a natural progression. We went from DC to Bethesda to Gaithersburg to Frederick.
Okay, you hopped a little bit to get here.
We did, yeah.
So real estate is your thing.
Yes.
And how did you get into real estate?
I got into it because my father asked to take a class and he didn't want to be alone. So I went with him. I was between jobs, and so I did the class with him, and next thing you know, the rest is history.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, you need to finish the story.
I need to finish this. He asked me to take a real estate class, and on the date of the final exam, he didn't show up. I called him afterwards, and he said, I didn't do it for me, I did it for you. I think this is going to be great for you. So, as a parent will do, sacrifice, all that time and energy that he put into me.
Isn't
So,
that crazy?
wasn't that sweet?
So he knew, he saw it in you.
He knew
that
I
that's
would be
what you needed.
yeah, he always told me that you're a natural leader. You know how to delegate.
Joe, where did you come into this picture?
We've known each other about 45 years.
That's amazing. You don't
Yeah.
look 45, either one of
Yeah.
you, so that's pretty incredible as it is, really.
Yeah. I hate to say it and say it in public, but we were homecoming prince and princess in high school.
Were you really?
Isn't that
Yep.
funny?
Oh,
Isn't that funny?
I love it. I love it. That's amazing. So you're also from the DC area?
Yep.
Okay. When did the kindness, giving back, and all of that really start for you guys?
So it started early on in our marriage. In the previous life that we had before, we had an organization called Community Team Tennis, where we would teach. Joe was a tennis pro, and we managed clubs in DC, Bethesda, and Potomac. What we were seeing was that there were it was like, what else can we do? We're teaching tennis, we're doing our thing, but how can we give back? So what we identified is when country clubs or sports clubs would be done with their nets because it had a little tear or windscreen had a little tear, we would take those and we'd take them to other counties that were underserved. And we would install them, and then people that would play tennis with us, when they wanted new rackets, they'd give us our old rackets. We had someone that would restring them for free, and we would give them to these kids. And then we went a step further, and we hosted a tennis and basketball camp. We attracted them in with basketball because most children know how to play basketball, but not everyone knows how to play tennis. And then we teach them the game of tennis because that's what we did. And so Joe built this great little organization called Community Team Tennis, and so that foundation it's always been with us. It's something that we did. And then when I began in real estate, I had a program that I gave a percentage of my commission back to nonprofit. Help me out with this. Teachers, firefighters, first responders. I guess. There were 5 groups. And I would give a portion of my commission back if they purchased, or when they purchased, I'd give it as a gift. So it was that. And then it just led into the next thing we know, it was the pandemic. And then.
Well, no, before that, it was the Unity campaign, I think, right?
Yep.
So what did you guys do with that?
Someone asked me to meet with Jonathan Schweitzer. Didn't know Jonathan at the time. I took the meeting just out of respect. He ran Frederick 48, didn't know anything about it. He sat me down, he told me about this annual 12-day campaign that they were running for local nonprofits. And he said that he couldn't do it anymore, and he asked me to take over. And I super busy at the time, so I really wasn't in a place to say yes. I did ask him how much he had made the previous year, and they had raised a couple $100,000, and I thought for Frederick that's a lot of money. But I thanked him and we left. And it was about 2 weeks later, Saturday morning, we're walking through Baker Park down where the tennis courts are on 2nd Street. And I remember, like, we walked by this one guy, he was sleeping, a homeless guy sleeping on a bench. Walked by him and saw another homeless guy up on one of the tables under the canopy by the tennis courts. And then we walked a little bit further, and on the left there was this tree, and there was this woman under a tree, and she had a suitcase. She had a sheet on the ground with all this paraphernalia. And she was dressed in like business clothes, like she had just gotten off work, like she could have lived in the house across the street.
Wow.
And I like got shivers, and I said, "Oh, that woman's homeless." And we walked a little bit further, and I said, "This is awful." And Troy says, "Yeah, that's awful. She's homeless." I said, "No, what's awful is we walked by 2 homeless guys and didn't put any thought into it. It was only when we could relate because she looked like us because of the way she was dressed." And I said, "We need to take over that Frederick 48." So called Betsy Day, asked her to be the fiscal agent, called Jordy Wilson, said, "Let's partner," because they were running a fundraiser as well. I said, "Let's do it together." And that's where the Unity campaign was birthed. And yeah, so that was cool. That was 2014. We ran it until 2019.
I remember the very first time I met you, I think, or interacted with you, was in the parking lot over here at Attaboy.
Right.
When you guys did an event during the pandemic. And it's the first time I met Gerard Bowens. Benefactor Events was here.
Right.
I think
So
Brandon
fun.
Chapman from
Right.
Visual was here.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think about that in 2020, and now we're in 2025, and all these people, and now their impact on our community,
Yeah.
it's got to make you proud that you were kind of like this seed starter for a lot of these people who are doing well and giving them a position. Because I had never heard about any of those people until you. Not that they weren't doing great things. It's just, I think you elevated everyone around you with that. You did a wonderful giveaway of, I mean, thousands of dollars of gift cards, and you just invited the community out to, again, be infected by this great kindness and give back.
Yeah.
How did that event kind of come about?
COVID.
Yeah.
You know,
So you're just looking for
everybody got shut down.
And at the time, during then, like when we first got shut down in March, we sent our whole real estate team home, our admin, everyone, we all went home. And we were having weekly meetings on the phone. And then we were doing gangbuster crazy. We had a fantastic year, but what we were seeing was that other businesses weren't. So I think Jared had just opened Tasting Room, and
Jared had just opened Tasting Room.
Right, yeah.
Just taking it over.
Right, and so we then you put together a fabulous idea.
Yeah, so we picked a number of businesses, and my son, who's a professional videographer, he created videos for each of these businesses.
They were phenomenal as
Weren't
well.
they great?
They were
Yeah.
great.
What was really fun was we went to his house, he set up all these cell phones, and we did Facebook Live trivia in his house. Never done anything like that before.
With my partner Dan, who
love it.
Yeah, that was awesome. It was a lot of
It
fun.
was
And that's
really
what,
great.
we gave, tens of thousands of dollars of gift cards away during that. That
and it
was
was
cool.
all for local businesses.
Yeah.
So-
You went out and supported local and gave it back to people to help them support as well.
Yeah, it was great. And then, in doing that, and then we had the event here, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, how can we help the masses? Just bringing people out into the community in the drive-in concert series, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But then asking our team, like, what do we want to do? And we just talked about doing random acts of kindness, and that's kind of how it all started. So we then created our new nonprofit, TGB Gives, with the mission, and with our mission to better the community through acts of kindness and generosity. But we were just going out and just doing random acts of kindness, and what we quickly found was that I felt like it was even more beneficial to the donor than the recipient just by doing the act, like how it makes you feel.
Sure.
So we want that to become viral. Like, how do we do that? How do we get more people involved and them to feel like just that energy and that goodness and the kindness of doing something nice for somebody else? And it doesn't have to be money related. I mean, just any kind of act, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
So RAK was born, Random Acts of Kindness, the brewery itself. How long have you guys been here now?
Just over a year.
Just over a year.
December 15th was our birthday.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, I said to you guys, I mean, it looks like nothing, like no other brewery in the best way.
Sure.
It's just like a hotel. I don't know. It's just so beautiful. It's so beautiful. And I know you had a lot of great woodwork by our friend Jay Jeffries and his team here, and it's just beautiful in here. how are things going here? Which I know the answer to because we're going to talk about what's next. But for you, is this kind of what you planned? You are where you thought you would be, or is it just the roller coaster ride of owning something like this and
It's life with Joe.
thinking one thing and thinking, okay, we're gonna recourse?
Yeah, well, it's interesting because we weren't looking to buy a brewery. It's like people ask, like, brewery.
Yeah,
it's
what
like you turn 60 and you have an old man crisis
yeah,
and you got
this
to
is
own
the
a
Corvette
brewery.
for everyone else. This is yours.
So we were actually just looking to buy a place to be able to hold events for our real estate business because we do a lot of events.
Yeah.
And we've rented out so many different venues in Frederick. It's like, let's just buy something. So we tried to buy another place, didn't work out, and then this became available. We threw our hat in. We didn't think we would win because there was other breweries that had put in offers, and it got down. I call it the David and Goliath because it ended up being us and the group that just bought Flying Dog. Out of New York. So it's like, David and Goliath. And Dave Blackman, who owns Smoketown, chose us, which was very kind.
So kind of him.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, so what are we going to do? So we're going to keep it as a brewery. So we had to brainstorm. It's like, what do we want to accomplish, right? So our first year, we wanted to do three things. It was all about the vibe, the service, and the beer. And the vibe, it's like,
You want a comfortable place
we
where
wanted to
people
be we wanted to be comfortable. I mean,
Yeah.
we're older. We need cushions. We need backs. You know what I mean?
love it.
It's like,
Yeah, back
seriously.
on the seats. I love it.
But people would ask, like, what's the vibe going to be? I said, I want it to be a place where women want to come, take pictures, and post on Instagram. Just
Just
what-
because
that's
it's
just
a
kind of what-
natural way that we would be able to
Get
get
your
free
media
social
out.
media.
Yeah.
So it was really that.
Smart.
Anyone who would take pictures would be comfortable. So we wanted to create a really beautiful space. And by the way, we are lucky because we have our designer here who helped who did all of this. And so it's Spazio Design. So anyone in Frederick, you should use her. Look
Yes. Very
Call
good.
me, I'll give you
Yeah.
information.
Yeah, I mean, it's a true testament, and I agree. It is very Instagrammable, and that's really
Right.
one great way where you're not paying a lot in marketing dollars. You're getting it all, the value from the customer, which is also great, word of mouth and all of that.
Right.
Yeah.
And we also used all Frederick people to help put this project together. So I think
love
that
that
all
too.
That was
Frederick
important.
businesses. So
Of
that
course,
was
yeah.
really
That was
important that we
important.
weren't reaching
I think
down
you guys
into.
do that all the time. I
Yeah.
don't think that's something different for you. Like
Yeah.
you use, if you can, you use local.
Yeah.
Right.
So you have just acquired the space next door.
Yep.
And are in the process of opening RAK Yard.
Yes.
And I got a sneak peek, which you can't see yet because it's not quite up to Troyce's par yet to show, but we will come back and show you. But the idea and theme for this extension is
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're solving a few challenges. One is, as I mentioned to you earlier, we started distribution, just local distribution in August. We quickly found that we have a capacity in terms of our space, how much we can brew and how much storage we have. So by taking the new space, we've dedicated a portion of it to expand that so that we can start distributing, a further reach. I think
Yeah.
that's really important to us. The next thing that we found is like here, I think about 60% of our patrons are female, which is kind of cool. It does come, a lot of women don't prefer beer.
yeah.
So Brandon does an awesome job making seltzers and sours. However, like with the new space, we'll have a full liquor license. So we're going to add a wine element here.
Yeah.
Just to enhance that, which is really cool.
Yeah.
In the new space, and this is more just comfortable, laid back, turn off the technology, that kind of concept. So in the new space, it's totally different. We're calling it the RAK Yard. We're bringing the outside in. It's kind of cool. That's the
Yeah.
concept. You'll see when we're done, kind of those elements that make it look that way. But we'll have like 98-inch televisions in the eating area, and behind the bar we have televisions, so it'd be more sporty.
Yeah.
We have a full commercial kitchen. We're super excited. We partnered with Dope Pizza, and Dope will be rebranding to Dope. He's got a full menu outside of just pizza, so we'll have that, which is
Yeah.
great. Having the food in a brewery, which is kind of cool.
It is.
But we'll have full cocktails, everything, full
Yeah.
bar in our new space. But the thing that I really love is we're putting artificial turf on 3,000 square feet, which is bigger than this space.
Yeah.
And we'll have bocce, we'll have cornhole, we've got shuffleboard, we've got foosball, we've got a whole dart area, we got all kinds of games. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Really.
Interactive
Yeah.
adult
Yeah.
play inside.
Right.
You're not worried about the weather or any of that. You got your good beer, good food, good alcohol, and,
Right.
and
Yeah.
wine.
Right.
So I mean, it is literally going to be the place where, if you just want some place to go where things are happening, I feel like that's going to be the place,
Right.
right?
Right,
You can
yeah.
go in your jeans and your t-shirts and have a
Absolutely.
good time,
Yeah.
or you can slip right over here and,
Yeah.
enjoy a beer at the brewery. Like that to
Right.
me is just the answer, I think. And it's huge. It's really a
huge,
huge
yeah.
space.
Yeah. And what we're going to do, all the games that we have are movable.
Oh, nice. So you can
like-
repurpose the room and
We want to have bocce league on Wednesday nights,
Yeah.
whatever, we can do that.
That's awesome.
We even have disc golf coming in on one night a week.
fun.
Right? They're doing like this putting contest, you
I
know?
love it.
So,
Because we
yeah.
had to bring a little bit of the disc golf since we did the disc
built
golf.
that
Yes,
disc
you
golf
guys
course,
did.
yeah.
Yes,
Right.
I remember
Yep.
seeing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Riverwalk.
Having space for events, for companies and corporations and event planners like myself, when you're looking for a space for more than 100 people, very difficult.
Yeah.
Having a space that already has integrated things for people to do is also another huge plus, because that's always another thing. Like if you
Right.
rent a space sometimes, then you have to rent everything that goes in it. And for you guys to have it, I think is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So RAK Yard is planning to be opened end of March.
End of March.
Which is exciting.
Very
and
exciting.
we'll make sure we come back to give everybody a sneak
Oh,
peek
thank you.
before that
Thank
for
you.
sure.
Thank you.
Because I know people are going to want to see it. But I mean, I really think Frederick is so lucky to have the two of you landing here, first
you.
of all.
Thank
And
you.
all the great stuff you guys are doing and continue to impact this community. I can't leave too much longer without saying, as part of African Americans of Excellence that we just had
Yes.
recently, you guys are really the reason that is able to fund and go. You guys are a huge part of that.
Yeah.
Now, you guys also have a golf tournament coming up.
Yes.
When is that?
Friday, June 6th.
And then there's the after race
The after,
party.
yeah.
Social.
You can just buy tickets to that
You
and
can
go
do that
out
as
and
well.
enjoy at Whiskey
Oh, it's a
Creek.
blast.
Yeah.
Well, again, we really appreciate everything you
Thank you.
guys do. Wish you all the best with RAK Yard. Can't wait to come back and see it when it's ready to go. You guys are going to want to check it out too. This is Troyce and Joe Gatewood, Is it TGP Homes?
It's
Troyce Gatewood Homes.
TGP Homes. Yep.
TGP
Troyce-
Homes.
Yep.
TGP Homes.
Yep,
TGP
it is.
Homes. And anywhere else. Just look for their names. You'll see them all over social. All right. We thank you guys for watching.
Yeah.